Chapter 8 The Open Road by Kenneth Graham. "There you are," cried the toad. "There's real life for you, embodied in that little cart. The open road, the dusty highway, the rolling downs. Here today, off to somewhere else tomorrow. Travel, change, interest, excitement. Come inside and look at the arrangements." The mole was tremendously excited and followed him eagerly into the caravan. It was very compact and comfortable. Little sleeping bunks, a cooking stove, lockers, and pots, pans, jugs, and kettles of every size. "All complete," said the toad triumphantly. "You'll find I've forgotten nothing when we start this afternoon."
"I beg your pardon,"
said the rat slowly.
"but I'm not planning on going anywhere except my home."
"Now, you dear good old ratty," said Toad imploringly. "You have got to come. I can't possibly manage without you."
"I'm not coming, and that's final," said the rat. "And what's more, Mole's going to stick to me." "I'll always stick to you, rat,"
said the mole loyally.
"All the same, it sounds rather fun, you know,"
he added wistfully. The rat hated disappointing people. Though still unconvinced, he allowed his good nature to overcome his personal objections. The toad packed the lockers still tighter with necessaries while his companions harnessed the old grey horse that would pull the cart. Finally, they set off, all talking at once. It was a golden afternoon. Birds called and whistled cheerfully. Wayfarers bid them good day or stopped to say nice things about their beautiful cart. Late in the evening, tired and happy and miles from home, they drew up on a remote common, turned the horse loose to graze, and ate their simple supper sitting on the grass. At last, they turned into their little bunks in the cart. No amount of shaking could rouse the toad out of bed next morning. The rat and the mole set to work, seeing to the horse, cleaning up last night's mess, and making breakfast. The hard work had all been done by the time Toad appeared on the scene, remarking what a pleasant and easy life they were all leading. It was not till the afternoon that they came out on the high road. They walked along one side of the road, the mole by the horse's head and the toad and the rat walking behind the cart. Far behind them they heard a faint hum. Glancing back, they saw a small cloud of dust advancing on them at incredible speed, while from out of the dust came a faint poop poop. In an instant, with a blast of wind and noise that made them jump for the nearest ditch, the motor car was on them. The poop poop rang in their ears, and they had a moment's glimpse of the immense machine, its pilot hugging his wheel. It flung a cloud of dust that blinded them utterly, then dwindled to a speck in the far distance. Frightened out of its wits, the old grey horse drove the cart backwards into the deep ditch at the side of the road. There was a terrible crash and the cart lay on its side, a hopeless wreck.
"You villains!"
the rat shouted, shaking both fists.
"You scoundrels! You road hogs! I'll have the law of you!"
Toad sat down in the middle of the dusty road, staring fixedly in the direction of the disappearing motor car. At intervals, he faintly murmured, "Poop poop." The mole and the rat went to look at the cart. It was a sorry sight. Panels and windows smashed, one wheel off, axles twisted out of shape.
"Toad!"
they cried.
"Come and have a look!"
The toad never said a word. His friends found him sitting on the road. A happy smile on his face, his eyes fixed on the dusty wake of their destroyer. The rat shook him by the shoulder.
"Are you coming to help us, Toad?"
he demanded sternly. "Glorious, stirring sight," murmured Toad, not budging from his place. "The poetry of motion, the real way to travel, the only way to travel. here today, in next week tomorrow. Oh bliss, oh poop poop, oh my, oh my,
Oh, stop being an ass, Toad.
cried the mole. To think I never knew, went on the toad. I never even dreamt, but now that I know, now that I fully realize, what dust clouds shall spring up behind me as I speed on my way?
What are we to do with him?
Asked the mole.
Nothing at all,
Replied the rat firmly.
He has got a new craze. He'll continue like that for days. Quite useless for all practical purposes. Never mind him.
The rat took hold of the horse's reins.
Come on.
He said grimly to the mole.
It's 5 or 6 miles to the nearest town, and we shall have to walk it.
They had not proceeded far when there was a pattering of feet behind them, and the toad caught them up.
Now look here, Toad,
Said the rat sharply.
as soon as we get to the town, you'll go straight to the police station and lodge a complaint against the motor car and its owners.
Complain? Murmured Toad dreamily. Me complain of that beautiful, that heavenly vision? Never.
You see how it is?
The rat said to the mole.
He's quite hopeless. When we get to the town, we'll go to the railway station, and with luck, we may get a train to take us back home.
After leaving the horse at an inn stable, they boarded a train which landed them at a station not far from Toad Hall. Having escorted the sleepwalking Toad to his door, the two friends finally sat down to a late supper in Rat's cozy riverside parlor. The next evening, the rat found the mole fishing on the river bank.
Heard the news?
He said.
Toad went up to town by an early train this morning, and he has ordered a large and very expensive motor car.
Adapted from Wind in the Willows. We should enjoy the pleasures of life without getting carried away by them.